Hey everybody, welcome to History and Humor. My name is John. I hope you're all doing well. Today we have 23 facts about the UK that confuse foreigners. Well, I'll be honest, I'm starting to get a little more proficient in the British culture, history, so let's see if it's confusing. Don't forget to like, share,
The United Kingdom might not seem like a place that could offer you anything more exciting than a cup of tea and some gloomy weather, but this place does, in fact, have its oddities. If you're planning a trip, you can meet some Scousers, possibly a unicorn, and definitely a Sophia. But first,
I don't mind Sophia.
Can't
Okay.
talk about Great Britain without mentioning the world-famous clock, Big Ben.
Yes.
Only Big Ben isn't the name of the clock or the tower it's on. It's the bell inside. And here's another funny tidbit. In 1945, a flock of birds perched on the clock's minute hand and put the time back by 5 minutes. 2.
Fair enough. That
At an
probably screwed everyone up.
astonishing 443 feet in height, the London Eye is the 4th tallest Ferris wheel in the world. A single rotation on this bad boy takes roughly 30 minutes to complete. But a little-known fact is that it wasn't London's first giant wheel. That honor goes to the Great Wheel, which was opened to the public in 1895 and demolished 22 years later in 1907.
Okay, I'm not a huge fan of it. I have to be honest. You know, and I'm just being honest. And I know everything is subjective, but when I look at the wheel, I don't even know it's called the Ferris. I guess I would call it the Ferris wheel, the Great Wheel. I look at that and I'm kind of like, when I look at the whole skyline, or I look at all of London, it's sort of like that game, which is like, which of these is not like the other, and it seems like it doesn't fit. Like, I understand the Eiffel Tower, but it just seems like this is like so metal man-made that it doesn't make sense in, I guess, modern London. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, how wrong I am, or I guess maybe more of what's the point of it. I don't understand that actually. So maybe I should be more open-minded. So if you wouldn't mind educating me, that'd be great.
3. Queen Elizabeth II has been to over 100 countries. She is a major world leader after all, but
Yeah.
the real kicker is
She's
that she
fast,
did it
but-
without a passport. And that's perfectly okay. She doesn't need one since, well, she's the queen. 4.
So I heard about that one. I did when she was alive.
Lots of people make the same mistake over and over again, so let's set the record straight. Great Britain and the United Kingdom are not the same thing. The UK includes Northern Ireland, Great Britain doesn't.
Right.
5. Hey, ever met a Scouser? I've come across some scoundrels in my time, but no, not a Scouser. If you know anyone from Liverpool, then yes you have. People from this northwestern English city got this nickname from the word lobscouse, which was a famous stew popular among sailors that visited Liverpool. Local people adopted the dish, and the name just stuck. So the Beatles were Scousers then?
That's what I was thinking.
The more you know. 6.
Paul, you
Now, a
Scouser.
fun fact for all you bookworms out there.
Ringo.
The towering British Library in King's Cross, London has lots and lots of books for you to enjoy. No, I'm serious. It's got over 170 million items in its catalog.
Oh, wow.
7. There's a village in Wales with a tongue twister of a name. You guys ready for it?
I've heard of this one.
Lillenfair. Oh, just put it on the screen.
Yep.
Did it fit? Great. Anyway, the Welsh to English translation is St. Mary's Church in the hollow of the White Hazel near the fierce whirlpool of St. Tassilo.
Okay, I didn't know there was a translation
8.
to like
London has the oldest and one of the largest underground transport systems on our planet. The London Tube includes 270 fully functioning stations and at least 40 more that aren't even in use. But it
wow.
also manages to steal about 80,000 umbrellas from passengers each year. 9. In Scotland, you can take the world's shortest flight between Westray and the Papa Westray Islands. Get ready because this flight will take just 2 minutes. 10. Make sure you don't stick a stamp with the
Okay.
Queen upside down on an envelope in the UK, otherwise it is considered an act of treason. By the way, the United Kingdom was the first country to use postage stamps.
Yes.
It was the black penny from
black
back
penny,
in
yep.
1840. As for
So I do like stamps. I'm a stamp fanatic, but and I can never say what it's called. It starts with a PH. But I did. Will you get like? Is that a rule that's enforced that if the stamp is upside down, with I guess now maybe the king on it, or one from the queen, if you still send those, are there repercussions for that? I'm just curious.
For your final stamp fact of the day, Great Britain is the only country in the world that doesn't have its name on its stamps. 11. Yate-born J.K. Rowling is the first billionaire author in the world. She sold more than 400 million copies of the Harry Potter book series, and her actual name is Joanne Rowling. J.K. is her pen name.
Yep.
12. Are you currently on a bright side binge-watching marathon? Nice! But you can thank English computer scientist Sir Timothy John Berners-Lee for inventing the World Wide Web that you spend so many hours on each day.
Got that, Americans? We did not invent everything. Oh my God, we just take credit for it.
13. Are you about to finish school and thinking about where to go to college? You've got plenty of choices in the UK.
Yeah.
There are more than 100 universities all over the country. 14. Any guesses what the national animal of Scotland is? Strap in for this one. It's the unicorn.
Did they have to use the word strap in to just seems... Yeah, I'm gonna move on.
According to Scottish mythology, the unicorn is the sworn enemy of the lion, which is the symbol of the English royal family. 15.
I'm curious why. I mean, there are no lions in England, but I mean, Richard the Lionhearted. It's got to go back for a long way. So at some point, they have to have been in Africa, or maybe they brought lions back at some point just for show. But I mean, well, I guess they know it exists. They know they exist. They've known that since the Roman Empire. So.
Greetings are a very important part of communication, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And how can you greet someone? Hi, hello, hey, salutations, if you're fancy. Well, if you're ever in Britain, you might be greeted with a, you alright? Or even just, alright. Moving on.
Okay.
16. It's illegal to wear an armor suit into the House of Parliament. I know, it's always been on your bucket list,
Yeah.
but you'll just have to forget about it and wear your armor someplace else.
That's interesting. One of those sort of holdover laws, I guess.
17. What was the official language of Great Britain in the 11th century? English, you say?
German or French?
From 1066 to 1362, the predominant language of England was actually French.
Yeah.
That explains why almost 30% of the English language comes from French. 18. Okay, I'm sure you know that the English love their tea. But do you really know how much? The British drink it more than any other nation in the world. For instance, they drink 20 times more tea than Americans do. 19.
Oh, sure, yeah.
If you
That's true, yeah, because it's very true. We're coffee drinkers here, but tea and the herbal, I don't want to say the healing powers, but the benefits of tea are quite well known here in the States. They have us, like, when you're sick, they say you should drink some more tea, and we drink coffee. That's why you see a lot of Americans are a little more uppity in the morning, and the end of the day, not so much, because coffee has so much caffeine in it.
You make it to 100 years old in the UK, the Queen will send you a telegram and wish you a happy birthday. You can get another one if you celebrate your 105th birthday, and still more each year after that. How thoughtful.
But
20.
Will the king do that? Just curious. I don't know if anyone knows about that, but I knew she did that. But
you won't find any U.S. eggs in the UK. They're illegal since they get washed. The funny thing is that the same applies vice versa. UK eggs are illegal in the US because they're not washed. Gotta watch out for those bad eggs, eh? 20.
So that's actually important. I used to raise ducks during the pandemic. We raised ducks, and if you don't wash the eggs, they last longer. If you do wash the eggs, then there's more of a shelf life. And I think Americans have the eggs are more readily available and shipped and used much quicker for things. They're not always local. They're more national. And they also come from horrible chicken farms, which are just, that's a whole other thing.
1. Speaking of strange laws, it's actually illegal to go to the cinema on a Sunday in Northern Ireland. You can even be fined up to 50 pounds or roughly $65 for breaking this law.
It's a religious law.
So are movie theaters there even open on Sundays?
I wonder if that's still a thing, though.
22. In order to become one of those super cool looking black cab drivers in London, you need to pass a special test called the Knowledge. Sounds cryptic. The hard part about it is memorizing every single street in London. A lot of drivers spend years preparing for this test. 23.
My gosh, in the United States, they just find any illegal person that can pass a driver's test, and that's that. Hats off to you guys.
In the early 1800s, just about a quarter of all women in Britain were named Mary. Imagine trying to call out to your friend Mary in a crowd back then. Sophia has held on to the #1 spot for 9 years in a row.
Beautiful
and
name.
Mary didn't even make it to the top 25 in 2018. Oh, how the times have changed. Which of these facts did you know already, and which one surprised you the most?
Were there any that surprised you the most, or surprised you? I shouldn't say the most, but I didn't know about the suit of armor. I think those are holdover. I love old holdover laws from the past. There's one in Kansas that says if you're a female driving a car into the Kansas City, you have to have a man on the front of the hood of the car waving a red handkerchief. Extremely sexist, but in context for the time, okay, it was sort of what it was. But all right, guys, like, share, subscribe if you don't mind, and excuse me, leave a comment down below. And I'll talk to you later. Humor and History is John out.